When someone who has passed away appears in your dream, it can feel deeply meaningful, sometimes stirring emotions that linger long after you wake. These dreams are not random. They often carry messages, reminders, or reflections of your own heart and mind. The first thing to understand is that the presence of the departed in your sleep is an invitation, not to fear, but to pay attention. It is important to approach such dreams with a calm and open mind. Often, people feel a mix of emotions: warmth, nostalgia, longing, or even unease. Each feeling can provide insight into what your dream might be trying to convey. The dream itself is a personal experience shaped by your memories, emotions, and the bond you shared with the person who has passed. Depending on the nature of the dream, its significance can vary. A dream that leaves you feeling peaceful and comforted may suggest that your relationship with that person continues in some form, at least in memory and spirit. A dream that feels heavy or sad might reflect unresolved feelings, perhaps something you wanted to say or a moment you wished had been different. And a dream that brings unease or anxiety is not necessarily a warning. It often mirrors your own thoughts, fears, or uncertainties about loss, change, or the passage of time. Regardless of the type of dream, there is something crucial you can do: acknowledge it. Recognize that it has happened, reflect on your feelings, and allow yourself to sit with whatever comes up. Simply noticing the dream and giving it attention can transform it from a fleeting, confusing experience into a meaningful moment of reflection. From this point, the next step is understanding how to respond, which depends on both the emotions the dream evoked and the message you feel it carries. In the following parts, we will explore practical and heartfelt ways to react, honor the dream, and carry its meaning forward in your life. But first, simply allowing yourself to recognize the dream as a valid and significant experience is the most important beginning. After recognizing the dream as a meaningful experience, the next step is to consider what it might be guiding you toward in your waking life. Often, when someone who has passed appears in our dreams, it is not just about them. It is also a gentle invitation to turn our attention inward. The dream can be a reminder to care for yourself, reflect on your emotions, or tend to aspects of your life that have been overlooked. One simple and comforting approach is to create a quiet moment for yourself. You might sit somewhere peaceful, perhaps with a cup of tea or simply in a calm corner of your home, and allow yourself to think about how you feel after the dream. This is not about performing a ritual in the traditional sense, but about acknowledging your own emotional needs and giving them space. Writing can also be powerful. Consider keeping a small notebook where you briefly record the dream and your feelings about it. You might write down any thoughts or memories that arose, or even address a note to the person who appeared, not to send it anywhere, but simply to express what you feel. This act can bring clarity and gentle comfort, helping you process the emotions the dream stirred. Another meaningful, yet simple action is to do something kind for yourself that nurtures your body or mind. It could be taking a walk in nature, listening to music that brings peace, or preparing a meal you enjoy. Such gestures, though small, are symbolic. They honor both the experience of the dream and your own well-being. By tending to yourself in this way, you transform the dream from a fleeting vision into a practical and gentle guide for your own care. As you reflect on the dream, remember that the way it made you feel is just as important as what happened in the dream. The emotions you experienced, warmth, longing, or even slight unease, offer insight into areas of your life where attention, compassion, or care may be needed. And by responding with gentle, mindful actions, you begin to carry the meaning of the dream forward, turning it into a tool for reflection and personal comfort. Now, let's consider the emotional tone of the dream, because the way you felt during it can offer guidance on how to respond. Even though we won't go into strict categories, you might notice that your dream left you with certain feelings: warmth and comfort, sadness or longing, or perhaps unease. Each response is valid, and attending to it thoughtfully can be very helpful. If the dream left you feeling peaceful or comforted, it may reflect the ongoing connection you feel with the person who appeared. In this case, allow yourself to acknowledge that bond. You can take a moment to reflect on a fond memory, quietly speak to them in your thoughts, or even light a candle in their memory. Another gentle gesture might be to perform a small act of kindness, like giving to charity or helping someone, as a symbolic way of honoring their life and the love you shared. These simple actions allow the dream to reinforce feelings of connection and care. If the dream stirred sadness or longing, it can be an indication that there are unresolved emotions or thoughts you may not have fully addressed. In this situation, a practical, comforting action can help. You might write a short note expressing your feelings, not to send it anywhere, but simply to release what you are carrying inside. If it feels meaningful, visiting a grave, memorial, or a place that reminds you of them can provide a quiet space to reflect. These acts are symbolic. They give your emotions attention and respect, helping you to process and find closure. Finally, if the dream caused unease or mild anxiety, this does not imply danger or warning. Often, it reflects your own concerns, fears, or uncertainties about life or the passage of time. Here, the best approach is gentle reflection. Take a calm moment for yourself, sit quietly, breathe, and notice what thoughts arise. You might also engage in a comforting activity, walking, listening to music, or preparing something enjoyable. These small, mindful gestures nurture your well-being and restore balance, allowing the dream to guide you in a supportive rather than frightening way. In all cases, the important principle is the same. The dream is an invitation to mindfulness, care, and gentle reflection. By recognizing your emotions and taking small, thoughtful actions, whether symbolic or practical, you allow the experience to guide you in a meaningful, comforting way. This prepares the ground for the final part, where we will explore how to carry the insight of the dream into your daily life, ensuring that its message continues to support and uplift you. As we reach the final part of this journey, it is important to remember one key idea. Dreams of those who have passed are rarely literal predictions. Even if someone appears in your dream, saying something or signaling a message, it is not a sign that a tragedy or death is imminent. These dreams are best understood as reflections of your own thoughts, feelings, and the connections that have shaped your life. What truly matters is how the dream made you feel and what it encourages you to consider. Perhaps it gently asks you to pay attention to your own emotions, to nurture relationships, or to take better care of yourself. Maybe it is reminding you to appreciate the love and memories you shared with someone who is no longer physically present. In every case, the dream is symbolic rather than literal, offering a moment to pause, reflect, and act with intention. To carry the meaning of the dream forward, consider small, thoughtful steps that align with your well-being. This could include quietly reflecting on the lessons or feelings the dream evoked, sharing your thoughts with someone you trust, or engaging in an activity that nurtures your spirit. Reading, walking, writing, or simply spending time in peaceful reflection. These gestures help translate the dream into practical insight that can guide your daily life with warmth and clarity. Above all, approach these dreams with calm and openness. Instead of reacting with fear or worry, recognize them as messages of care, memory, and self-reflection. The appearance of a loved one in a dream is not a warning, but an opportunity, a gentle nudge to consider your own heart, your current needs, and the ways in which you can live more mindfully and kindly, both toward yourself and those around you. By understanding this, you allow the dream to serve its true purpose, not to frighten or predict, but to illuminate, comfort, and guide you in ways that support peace, reflection, and connection in your waking life.